do a quick review of the Divine Circus Oracle by Alana Fairchild. This deck I purchased a handful of months ago, and it's one of the decks that I've been using the most in the last few months. I would like to do a review of all of the decks I own, but this one I felt was especially necessary because I've been using it so much, and I thought it was time to tell you guys about it. If you like this video, please hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Or if you want to check out my social media links, they are down in the description below, along with my Etsy shop, which has clothing, crystal jewelry, and personal tarot readings that you can purchase, or my GoFundMe, which you can donate to if you'd like to help me with my projects or helping me put out my content. Alright, so off to the review. Alright, so the box, which I actually don't have with me right now, is the typical Blue Angel box, so obviously it's awesome. This deck is a typical Blue Angel deck, which is lovely. It's got the normal shiny cardstock, and it's a good cardstock. So the deck creation itself is amazing. The book is not the biggest Alana Fairchild book, but it is substantial. So I'm going to start off with the cards and then talk about the book. So to start off with, I'm going to be totally honest, the cards do not do it for me. Each individual image is lovely within itself, but the theme of the deck is not my favorite. I will be honest, what really makes this deck amazing is the book, which, let's be real, it's Alana Fairchild, are we surprised? So the images themselves really don't do anything for me. They mildly match up with what the book says, but honestly, I feel like they were trying to match the theme of what, this idea of a circus with this book. I don't think it was necessarily needed to go along with the messages for this book, but that's up to the artist and the author. I believe these cards were illustrated by several artists, so you can kind of see which ones look more similar to each other, and there are ones that I like better than the other. I think it's the artist who does these ones who I really like. They're really kind of dark and interesting. All the cards in and of themselves are really lovely in the sense of the art is beautiful. I'm just not a huge fan of the whole circus theme. See, I love this. This is beautiful. And I don't know, the cards just are what it is about this deck that I absolutely adore. And I will say, I do love this deck. This deck is probably one of the most spot-on Oracle decks I've ever owned. And that's saying something. I own a lot of Oracle decks, and I own a lot of Alana Fairchild decks. So this deck has become, oh, see, I do love that. It's funny. I say I don't really like the art, but I do. I just don't see how it necessarily correlates with the book itself, I guess. I feel like the book could have been with any number of decks, and it wouldn't have really thrown it all that much. The back of the deck isn't my favorite. Again, I feel like they're just playing far too into the whole circus thing. But that is what it is. I have a friend who looks just like this. It's ridiculous. You guys actually know her. It's Eliza. It's really funny. When I got this deck, I sent her a picture. I was like, look, you're in an Oracle card. And I also identify as being feline, so that's kind of amusing. Yeah, so this deck, the art is intriguing. If you like circuses, then you are going to love this deck. Oh, I do really like this one. But it's just not, my favorite. Alright, as to the book, however, even though it's small, like I said before, this book, originally I felt like this deck was, I think Alana Fairchild gets a little bit of a bad rep for, putting out so many decks so frequently. I think people started feeling like, wow, she has a deck out every other month, are they really as good? And I kind of, that was my kind of first take on this. That judgment, and it is a judgment, is more based on the fact that how frequently they're coming out. Her decks honestly stay just as amazing no matter how many decks she's putting out. So I feel like that is a unfounded judgment. There is a new deck that just came out. I didn't even realize it was coming out, and I saw it. It's very good too, and it has to do a little bit more with like the Soul Path. I'm trying to remember. It's more energy based. It's more like Star Child kind of based, and I haven't really had a good look at it. It is at the energy shop where I shop, and it looks good from what I've seen. But that's her newest one, and I haven't bought it yet. But all her other decks seem to be really great, no matter how many she puts out at a time. But for some reason, when this one came out, I really just got that sense, and it was actually at the shop I buy cards at, and to use and look through. And so I looked through it a few times, and every time I pulled a card, I was blown away, and I was like, I'm gonna have to buy this deck eventually, even though I'm not drawn to the art, even though I'm not drawn to the theme. There's something about this book that is so spot on. And you guys, I'm not kidding. This Oracle deck is so grossly spot on, it's ridiculous. Like, every time I read a message, I feel like it's been written for me. And I know a lot of Oracle decks are like this, but this is like next level. I use this deck in every tarot reading I do with a client, and they are usually blown away by whatever the card says. It's almost like if they've never used cards and they pull this, it's like all of a sudden they're a believer in the cards. I find it's actually really a good way to step into it, because if they've never done tarot and they're a little like unsure, when they pull a card from this and read it, they're like, oh my gosh, and immediately they're more trusting of what the tarot says. It's really interesting. But this I use for myself all the time. I use it for clients. I couldn't give this more higher praise. This book is unreal. And so even though the cards aren't my favorite, they are so ridiculously worth this book. And they're, they are fun. They are, they're playful. Like I said, they are what they are. There are a lot of Oracle decks when it comes to art that I like way, way better. But this book takes the freaking cake. So my official review is 2 thumbs up for the book. Alana Fairchild did an amazing job. I'd highly recommend this deck. Again, if you like circuses, this is going to be great for you. If you're afraid of clowns, though, there are a lot of clowns in here, like a whole lot of clowns, like a whole lot, like probably at least half the deck are clowns. So I will say, though, they're not like the creepy clowns. They're a little more like the vintage clowns. So, I mean, at your own discretion. There is a little bit of nudity, but not a lot. And yeah, I mean, I tend to like this art more than I think I do a lot of times. But again, it's not my favorite. And I know I keep repeating that, but that's just how it is. So anyway, this guidebook, though, oh God, I'd recommend it for everyone. It's just beautiful. It has, just like in Alana Fairchild, it has a little blurb kind of explaining the basic idea of the card, and then it goes deeper into it, and then it has a healing trick. And here actually, what is a little different is they do have an affirmation, which is interesting. And then of course they have the, a small version of the card. So, typical Alana Fairchild book. Let me see how many pages it is. Well, she has a ton of advertisements for her other decks in the back. Let's see. Yeah, around 127 pages. So it's still a pretty good, pretty thorough book. Anyway, so that's my not so quick review of the Divine Circus Oracle. I definitely recommend buying it. I use it, at currently like 80% more than my other Oracle decks, which is saying something, because I have several Oracle decks I absolutely adore. I tend to get kind of stuck on one Oracle deck, even though I have a handful out on my altar, and I actually have a lot more out now to use. I just, I'll keep grabbing one, and I wish I used more of my Oracle decks more consistently, because like the Mayan Oracle and stuff, that always blows me away, but I don't use it as much as I'd like. So I would like to focus on more. I just find that when I'm using so many Oracle decks, I get so many messages at once that it's almost hard to like really take in. So I do tend to hone in on one deck. So I don't know how long this deck will be that for me. I'm sure I'll switch out at some point. But currently, this one just is so spot on that I don't feel like I need to pick up any other Oracle decks. My current tarot deck that I'm using, Consistency, I haven't used aside from maybe the Shadowscapes and the Tarot Vampires, a few times, is the Bonefire Tarot, which I just got as well. So I did kind of do a review with the unboxing. If you guys really want to see a full-on review, I can do that, but it's not going to be super different from the unboxing because my intuition on the deck was pretty spot on. So anyway, so that's what I'm currently doing. If you guys want to see a deck collection video / videos, let me know. I have been kind of toying with the idea recently because I'm going to be moving in a few months, and I figured this was the time to do it because I don't know if I'll be able to take all my decks with me. Probably not. So let me know if you want that, and I will start working on that in the near future. So hope you like this review. It's definitely an awesome deck. Let me know if there's any other decks that I have shown you or intrigue you that you'd like me to do a review on, and I'll see if I can get to them. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you like this video, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it's all about the soul journey.